wait until this one's due, so that'll be Monday next week.
Okay.
Am I supposed to do my effort at work? I have all the work on.
No, just hang on to it forever.
No, there's not.
On that number 116, how we turned it in late, but we get half it.
You turned it in later?
It was like a new class, we forgot. So we turned it in later that night.
Okay. And so I haven't checked it yet. Is that what you're saying?
It's a 0 out of 10 in the grade book.
It's 116.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll check.
Thank you.
All right, good morning, guys. There is an assignment I asked you to turn in for homework, so if you didn't, this is your last chance for full points. From like 2 classes ago, circuit, it was on the limit definition of a derivative. So if you need to double check that you have that in Google Classroom, then now is the time. Okay, we got a handful of little things that I want to share with you. A lot of information stuff. Of course, you guys can read through this as I go over it. But don't forget about the Delta Math, the last unit test that we made as a take-home test. 10 questions. If you have not written down a reminder that is due Monday before class, now is the time to do so. It is a B week, so this is the last time I see y'all, and so this is your last reminder. So again, it's a trade-off. You have to do it at home, but on the flip side, it's a take-home test. So I will also remind you on that part that there is a corrections piece. So if you get 5 of the 10 questions right, that doesn't mean that you get a 50 on the test. It means that you initially get a 50, but after that deadline has passed on Monday and that has closed, then I'll open up the corrections. The corrections are more tedious because you have to do 3 correct question types of the type that you missed. So if you miss question 1, you can get those points back, but you've got to do 3 of that same question type correctly. So ideally, you really give those first 10 your best effort. Again, you've got a calculator, you've got notes, you've basically got unlimited time. But if you guys are like last year's group, some of you are going to forget to do it on Monday, and then that means you're going to have to do all corrections if you want to get the points back. I gave you a full week, so if you didn't do it for homework already, like I suggested, then now you're taking it in your own hands. You're figuring out your own plan. So just make sure that is going to work. Now, since that is the unit test, anything that we have done up to that point will be considered past due for late credit. So if there's anything we have done since your last test, which was like the week before spring break, you can still get more points on incomplete work, and you can get some points for work you never turned in, but I have to have it in my hands or in Google Classroom Monday before class starts. So if that applies to you, this is your last chance on that stuff. So act accordingly, please. All right. So before we get back to our work from last class, there's a couple things I want to share with you. One is just a real quick slideshow that I like to show to you each day before the AP exam. It just gives you a little bit of perspective about how people have felt in the past before and after the test, passing scores, consistency, all of that kind of stuff. So I don't want to spend a long time on this, only because, again, pretty much every day that I see you guys, I want to spend 2 minutes on it, just going real quick. So, they don't share the cutoff scores every year with us, but these are the years that they have shared the cutoff scores out of 108 points, and it shows you the percentage of students that got those. So, to get a 3, it could be anywhere from 35 or 34 to 45 points. It just varies. It depends. It's like the ACT is scales. They'll grade the raw score first, see what the average is. If the average is really high, they consider that an easy test, and they're going to expect you to have more points. If the average is low, they consider it a hard test, and you need less points. That's why there's a little bit of variation there. That's important to you, because if you're taking your AP exam and you're thinking, man, this is easy, it might be easy to everybody, and it might have a higher bar to pass. Likewise, if it seems really hard, you shouldn't give up, because it could be really hard for everybody, and the bar to pass could be lower. So the only thing that you could do wrong is give up. Okay, just for a little bit more specifics here, these are the pass rates for Fayetteville High School on the left all the way back through 2016. That's the oldest data that I had. So at Fayetteville High School, we've had anywhere from 37% of students pass to 62.5 or 63% pass. It is not an automatic. You actually do need to put in a good effort these last handful of days, and especially on the AP exam day, putting in your best effort. The stuff to the right is for me. So this is my 5th year teaching AP Calculus. So the very first year, scores were pretty good for me. That was the year that COVID happened though. And the year after that, you can see there's quite a bit of a drop. That was the year that we had the virtual hybrid options, and a lot of students came to school once a week or 0 times a week, so that was a little bit lower. And then they've been getting a little bit better. Last year's group did a great job. They had 85% pass in my classes last year. Okay, this I show you that this is worldwide pass scores for 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s for a few years. And the main thing I think you should get out of this is that it's fairly consistent. It's not like one year there's a million 1s or a million 5s. Again, since they scale it, it's all pretty much proportional. The percentage of students who get a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is fairly consistent year to year. Couple quick quotes. I did a workshop by one of probably the 3rd biggest calculus teacher in America, and these were some quotables that I thought were interesting. Now again, this was from 2021, so he was talking about 2020. It's a little bit different, but I think it still applies here. He said half of the people who scored 2 that year would have been a 3 if they had just scored 3 more points. So of course, that would be awful for you if you could have just gotten 3 more multiple choice questions right, or 3 more points on any one of your 6 FRQs to pass. And that's why you need to give it your best effort. And also, comparing that year to the year before, you only needed 11 points to go from a 2 to a 4. So there's not as much difference as you guys might normally think. For calculator FRQs, make sure that you write down what you're putting in the calculator. If you just magically come up with the answer and you write that down, that's considered a bald answer, and they won't give you points for that. Anything that goes in your calculator should go on your paper. That's considered showing your work. Any justification, explanation more than a sentence, you're probably trying to convince yourself that your justification is good. Most of our justification should be pretty short. It's concave down because second derivative is negative. It's increasing because first derivative is positive. Like if you're writing a paragraph trying to justify your answer, that's probably on the wrong track. And as we've talked about, you don't have to do any arithmetic on FRQs. You get down to 4 plus 6, just circle 4 plus 6. You don't have to change it to 10. As soon as you get a numerical answer, they will count it. Okay, according to this guy, and again, it's been a couple years and there's no promises, no guarantees, but I'm going to talk about this on the next piece on our agenda in a second. He said one FRQ is always a geometric graph, And he said one FRQ is always a rate in, rate out. We did a rate in, rate out recently. The bananas problem. You remember that one? They were adding bananas at a rate and removing bananas at a rate. That's considered a rate in, rate out question. Always round to 3 decimal places unless it says different. And the last one you probably haven't thought about, but if a function is differentiable, it's implied that it's continuous, but they don't score it that way on the AP exam. Sometimes something is differentiable, and for something to work, it's supposed to be continuous. You should just go ahead and write that down. You could just say differentiable, arrow, so it's continuous. And if it wasn't needed, it didn't hurt you to write that down, but if it was needed, then you've got your bases covered. Okay, these are the things. I'm not going to go over this with y'all, but last year I asked my group to kind of brainstorm some ideas of why you should care to pass the AP exam. And this is what they came up with. So you don't have to take Cal 1 in college. Of course, that costs you money, and maybe more importantly, it costs you time. You still got to go to class and do the homeworks and study for the test. And not passing this AP exam can save you from that. They said you want all of your effort from throughout the year to show on your AP exam, academic validation, whatever that is. So my family's not disappointed in me.
So valid.
The family?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Again, these are not mine. This is what I just wrote down what they said. College will be easier, and that is true. The less classes you guys need to take when you get to college means that you can take a little bit less per semester, and that's going to make your life easier than other people's. Bragging rights and good way to meet people. Just offering to help other people tutor calculus. It's a good way to meet people. In fact, I think at the university, at least the U of A, you can apply and you can get like a job being a math tutor. So. One other thing I would say about this, though, is I know kind of in y'all's head, sometimes you might say, well, I'm glad I took calculus. It's good to know a little bit about what calculus is about, but I don't think I'm going to use calculus in my life. I'm not going to need a bunch of calculus when I go to college. What you'll need to understand about that part is that college, just like high school, you have to get a handful of electives. Depending on your degree, they're going to say take a couple English classes, take a couple science classes, take a couple math classes, etc. And then there's going to be, you need so many elective classes. So even if you don't have to have Cal 1 for your degree, whatever your degree is going to be, it could still count as an elective, which means that's that many more hours you have to pay less in college, which is thousands of dollars, and it would be one less class you'd have to go to during that time. And then last thing I'll say about that is, while that may not, the time commitment and having some classes under your belt may not seem like that big of a deal, you guys are used to, the school makes you take this many classes, and if you pass them for 4 years, you graduate. That's how high school goes. That's not how college goes. College, they don't care if you sign up for 4 classes or 6 classes or 3 classes. That doesn't really matter to them. If you only take 3 classes, you're not going to graduate in 4 years. So oftentimes it takes people longer to graduate college than they expect. And again, it just depends on how many classes you take. So at some point you might want to glance at this. This was from a newspaper article. It's been several years ago. But this is 6-year graduation rates. So they did a poll of Arkansas schools, and after 6 years, they figured out how many people have graduated with a bachelor's degree. And a lot of the schools are in the 20s and 30s. So after 6 years, 20 to 30% of the people that had started 6 years before that were just getting their degree. It's not an automatic 4 years. So that's where, more classes you have down, the less you have to take, potentially the less you have to go past 4 years. I can speak for myself. I took probably 4 or 5 summer classes. I passed every class. I withdrew 1 class and I had to retake that one. And I did finish in 4 years, but it was very tough. My last year I had to take 21 hours, which is the same as y'all taking, how many do y'all take this year? 7? Okay, that's the same as college is probably more like 8 or 9 classes. Like they don't really let you do that. You have to get wavered into it. So my last semester I had to take a ton of classes and it was not fun. But I needed to get into my grad program at the start of summer. So if I missed it, I would have to wait a whole year to do that. Okay, and then last part of this, again, I don't want to spend too long on this, but it just gives you some perspective. I'm going to go over it quicker each day we go over this, but I will give you guys the same Google survey before we get to the AP exam, but these are the results from people last year. So one question is, how did you think you were going to do on the AP exam before you ever took a single day of AP Calculus, just based on, you know, how good you thought you were at math, what you'd heard about AP Calculus, what you'd heard about the AP exam, and then this was their responses. Okay, the next slide keeps that one, so here it is at the top. Okay, and then I asked them right before the AP exam, so pretty much this time last year, how did you feel about it? And you can see there's some movement there. And then, so now I move this one up. This is the right before the exam, and then this is how they felt about it right after the exam. Now, one disclaimer here is that this data doesn't have seniors on here because seniors had already left by the time I did the after part. So you can see how people felt before versus after. Looks like they felt a little bit better after the exam, but then if you compare after on top to how they actually did last year, I don't know. I don't know that there's like one big message to get out of that, but kind of general shape. There was a couple people who got 1s that didn't expect it, about double the number of people who got 5s and expected it, etc. Okay, any questions about any of that? Again, it's just perspective. I'm just trying to get you guys to see how last year's group felt about it before and after, because it probably will be pretty similar to y'all. Okay, the next thing I want to tell you about that I think will help you out quite a bit. This is far from complete, but it's something I've been trying to chip away at since about this time last year. So there are certain FRQs, just like I had mentioned in this, where this guy had said one was always a geometric graph and one is always a rate in, rate out. Obviously, I know you guys don't have time to practice every single FRQ that they've ever given, even though that would help you be best prepared. So based on limited time, we kind of have to pick and choose. We know which ones are most likely to be on there, so those are the ones that should probably demand your most attention. So I added this to the website today, but at the very top of our class website, I put this link up here for FRQ database. And if you click on that, again, I don't have it all in here the way I want it to yet, but I'm working towards it. Here are the 6 types that are very common: rate in, rate out, particle motion, graph analysis, area and volume, differential equations, tables and sums. There's a 7th category for other. Some FRQs don't fit into those groups. And then there's some I just haven't had time to categorize yet. But if you were to click on one of these, like if you say, okay, rate in, rate out, I also have a little bit of information about it right here. But if you know you need to practice rate in, rate out, because you should expect it on the AP exam, if you click that link or if you click this tab at the bottom, here's a list of years that rate in, rate out was asked, as far back as 2022, what FRQ number it was, whether it had a calculator allowed, what the average score on it was. You can see there's some missing links here, but I'm trying to make these where they link exactly. So if you want to practice the 2014 FRQ1, you can just click this to download it. You can click this to see the scoring guide, and you can click this to see a list of videos of people going over it if you need help on it. So I'm just trying to make it as easy and convenient for you as possible. And then once you feel good with that one, you might say, okay, well, the other one that guy said was like graph analysis. So graph analysis, here's the years they've asked them, average score, never get a calculator. I've got a couple of them super easy for you to download and practice, super easy for you to check the scoring, and super easy for you to watch videos if you want some help on how to do it. So that is just a resource, but I really feel like that should be a good part of what you do for studying for the AP exam. So I will bring that up multiple times as well. Okay, any questions about that before we can move on to more normal stuff? Okay, so I will be asking you to turn in 130 for homework. So that was the circuit from last class. So first off, I would like to offer to help with a question or two on the board that I could maybe record for the website if needed. Now, if you finished this circuit last class, I will go ahead and open this up. Now, I did mess up the numbering on the binders last class, so I need you to make 2 quick adjustments, please. This circuit, I actually told you it was 129 last class, and we already had a 129. So this circuit that we did last class, that was product rule, quotient rule, and chain rules, was supposed to be 130. And then that 3-page packet I told you was 130, it's supposed to be 131. I apologize, I just had messed that up. Alright, if you have finished that circuit, I just now opened that up in Google Classroom, so you can turn it in and you can move on to the next piece. But if there was a question or two that you were struggling with, then here's the time that I will help you, but you need to finish that up for homework otherwise. So, which questions from the circuit last class were you getting stuck on? Yeah.
14.
Number 14. Okay, that was this one? Okay. And I'm 99% sure I know where your mistake is there, so let me first make sure I don't need to record this for the website. Oh yeah, I definitely do. I don't have many of these. Okay, so if you don't need help with this one, please work on something independently here so I can record this for people that aren't here and can watch it later. Okay, so 14 gives us a function, y, and asks us for the first derivative. So I would probably think of this square root as an exponent of a half. So the first part of the derivative is just going to be power rule. Bring the power down. Then when you lower the power by 1, that's going to make it have an exponent of -1/2. So I'm just going to move that to the denominator and make it be an exponent of +1/2. You okay with that part?
Yep.
Okay, then the first chain rule is this stuff was the inside, and here's where I bet the mistake was. The derivative of 1 would be 0. The derivative of sine squared, this one y'all do incorrectly pretty often, and it has to do with how we write trig functions. Sine squared means that you've got sine times sine. This means the same thing as this. So when I'm doing the first chain rule, the derivative of this is 0. The derivative of this would be bring the power down, lower the power by 1, and then there's a second chain rule that you guys sometimes don't think about with trig functions. The derivative of the inside would be cosine x. So 2 sine x is the first chain rule. Cosine x is a second chain rule. But then once you get times 2 divided by 2 to cancel, then what's left over is a sine x, cosine x in the numerator, and a square root of 1 plus sine squared x in the denominator. That's the answer that they got. So, was I right that you didn't do this part of the chain rule?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty common. And again, anytime it's written like this, if you know that you struggle with getting this, just with the trig function, just put it in parentheses and square it. It's the same thing. And then it's not as tricky. Okay. Did anybody have anything else about 14 while it's still up? Okay. What's another one I can help with? Okay. That is fine, but I guess if you're not finished with it, you really need to work on that first, because that is the assignment I'm asking you to turn in for homework. And I'm not expecting you to do it for homework. I'm giving you class time. That's why I didn't ask for it today. If you did not read through 131 last class, that three-page packet where it's, when you see this, this is what you should do. When you see this, this is what you should do. That handout that I said would make great flashcards. If you didn't read through that last class and put marks by the ones you don't know, please do that. Secondly, and now would be a good time to point out that that is what your mini quiz will be over next class. Now, not all 3 pages, so I have it detailed on the agenda there, but the front and back of the first page. And in case you didn't staple them in the correct order, the top left says when f of x is decreasing. The front and back of that, I'm going to have matching mini quiz for that. Now, we haven't done mini quiz in a while, but not because I don't think they're important, but because I've been asking you to do mock exam stuff. So, and Delta math class last time. So, front and back of that page, if there's any of those you could not match up, then you need to study that for a few class points. Those will be major points like I did before. Trying to give you some points for learning what you need to learn. So if you don't know it, now it's the time, because we are down to 6 class periods, including today. And again, you could be sick on 1 or 2 of them. You might miss 1 or 2 of them the week before our exam, because it's AP exams the week before ours. And I think next Wednesday, I don't know if I'll be in here the whole time, because we're doing math interviews and I have to sit in all that. So I might be here on Wednesday. Next week I might not. I don't know. But I'll be here on school, just maybe not in here. Okay, once you feel like you're comfortable with that, you've got, I thought we had already done this one, or I would have had you do it sooner, but I couldn't find it on our website, so I'm pretty sure y'all didn't do this one yet. But tangent lines and doing approximation from tangent lines. We've been seeing a lot of this in the FRQs we've been practicing. Pretty often that's an FRQ question. Write the equation of a tangent line, use it to approximate something. So this circuit is pretty short. I think it's like a 8 or 10 question circuit. And I'm hoping to help you make sure that you are ready to get those points, because that will be on the exam for sure, 100%. And for those of you that work quicker, hopefully you have some class time to pull up your mock exam and look at some more of your multiple choice questions. So I know I'm giving you a lot of information there, but it's all typed up in the agenda. So if you please start working through that in the order that it is. I'm going to go ahead and put these homework grades in, and then I'll come around and help with whatever spot you're at. But got plenty to do.
Here's the FRQ stuff. I didn't get through all of it, but I did take my 30 minutes.
Okay.
Submitted it.
Did you score it in AP Classroom? I don't need your work yet.
Oh, you don't need the work? Okay,
Not yet.
okay.
Just
I
hang
did
on
good
to
on
it.
the first parts, but
There's one
not
thing in
so
mind.
good.
I didn't know if you took it yesterday from me when you put in the grades because my hack won't load.
Okay. Want me to staple it?
No, I don't care.
Okay, I'll bring it back.
Okay.
I'm gonna grade at least once. Yep.
So I'm on the last one here.
Oh, the last one's hard. The last one, you have to know a double angle identity.
But it looks like that.
Okay, wait, so you brought this down, lowered the power by 1, took the derivative of the inside, took the derivative of the inside again. Okay, so 4 sine of 2x minus 3 times cosine of 2x minus 3.
That doesn't line up.
Yeah, so there's a double angle identity, and you don't need to know this for the AP exam, but at the very top of that board over there, it says sine 2x is equal to 2 sine x cosine x. So that's similar to what you have, but yours has been doubled, and instead of plugging in x, they're plugging in 2x minus 3. So I think if you look at those couple steps I have there, if you compare that to what you have, you can make it look like this to loop back. So, and again, you don't have to memorize that. It will not be on your AP exam. So.
I did it 3 times too. Should I just go there and wait for it? I was gonna sit there for like 40 minutes. I'll go before supper. Wait, so which one do you start? 10?
Grace, your work's missing a page.
Like I didn't do.
It's 2 pages. You gave me 1 page.
Oh. I have it. Is it this?
Yes. Here, you take them both back. I'll just put it in
Can I
there.
use this little stapler?
Yep.
What did you major and minor in?
Well, most people don't minor in anything. My major was in math. My master's is in education.
Oh. Is that an MD?
MD would be,
Medical?
well, MD would be master's in, I don't know what the D is for.
Degree.
Could be. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that.
I just wondered who
Okay, this looks good. But, so this is kind of weird. I struggled with this at first. You see how this is the function square root of x? So if you're trying to approximate the square root of 8, they're wanting you to estimate when x equals 8. So plug 8 into your point slope and then solve for y. It's kind of a weird way to ask for you, but there's another one that's like that too, so.
So I'm not invited. It's okay, I'm not I was like, yeah. I'm joking. I'm only inviting like 3 of my friends. Because my mom wants to be It like releases hormones that like sheds your linings. You know, plus one as it is like I doubt we can kids on purpose. Wait, we have to put a sandpoint at this table.
I don't know, I'm so confused.
Oh, sign is Y.
I don't know why I was so
What did you say?
I think it should be everyone. I think we can get it now. But our students are coming up with like. And with the students are like, that's okay to have that. But also I don't think it's gonna like do what other I know, that's why I'm getting older. No, it doesn't, it makes me feel better, like, I get sweet things in it. I'm gonna have more checks too. I feel like what's it good?
Well, I was just thinking, you just thought of 1 point on the answer. It's pretty obvious. Write the equation of a tangent line. So point slope form, y minus y1 equals m difference x minus x squared. Plug in the point that they give you, or plug in the x value that they give you. Plug the x value into this to get the y value, plug it in. Plug in 1 into the derivative to get the slope.
Oh, okay, that's what I was confused about, was how was I supposed to slope that?
Slope comes from derivative. Then you have the equation of the tangent line. Then after you have that, you'll plug in 1.1 in for x, and then solve, and you'll get a number.
Oh, okay.
You know what, like, and she's talking about.
Right. I know, but there's a point.
I was so glad we're doing this survey, because I was really mad at myself, because I don't know how to play the words.
Oh, because I know I'm supposed to not be picking one. Or why is not one.
So we're just studying. What did I say then? What did I say?
So then it's just from 0 to 1.
I just wanted to say it.
Plus 5.
This is I never remember it like more. I never remember it like I bet you're definitely making it what is it?
It was forced. If you just subtract these, you get 3 over 6. I'm sure it's not that. Oh, yeah.
Grace, do you need to move to get some work done? Okay, then get busy, please. It's been like 10 minutes.
Y minus Y.
Oh, it's the 31%.
Does F So would the slope be -3 or x -4? So you just put the value of x into this. The slope.
I'm not really sure what I'm doing wrong in this question.
It's the wording of the question.
Oh.
I'm not a big fan of this, but if you look at, they don't actually want you to approximate when x equals the square root of 8. If you compare the function to this, it's when x is 8. Yeah. It'll always be easy enough arithmetic you should be able to do in your head. So it's a weird way to say that. But.
No, I give you a little bit of like, yeah. But it's. What'd you get? Thanks everyone. Oh my gosh, I think I did that. Like that. Think about the what? I don't even fucking know, like, I was talking about like, unknowns.
So you got negative. Yeah, and y is good.
What did that have to do with it? It was just there, like, you just got there. I think I missed the, oh, I did damage, but I don't think I don't think I plugged it. Maybe. Wait, why are we getting 26? Yeah. Why did I get 12? Or why did I get 12? Oh my gosh, that's why. I just took the blame on
What are your equations look like?
Okay, I got all those homework grades typed in, so please just call me over as you get stuck on the circuit so I can help you.
Yeah,
Oh, wait. Okay, I lied. I still have a couple homeworks, but then I missed the pile somewhere.
What did I do wrong?
You know the ring years you still have to plug in?
Oh, no, but I don't want
Oh, you gave him that number.
It says I'm not doing drugs in this.
It's a weird way to ask it, yeah.
So we plug that in.
Yeah, and then there's another time like up here. Here across from all of these you should be able to do without a calculator. It's crazy.
Negative 1.5 when you add 3.
You're a couple of weeks away from summer, you don't have all the time in the world. Do I have a question I can help with? Do I have one I can help with? It's just a weird way to ask. What do you think you're approximating? Huh? No, see, if you compare this to the function, they actually want you to approximate when x equals 8. If the function's square root of 8, and you're trying to approximate the square root of 8, they want you to approximate when x equals 8. All of these work out nice enough, you don't need to approximate. You get straight to your yeah, and then same thing up here too. This says natural log of x, and then approximate natural log of 1.5, so you're actually approximating when x is 1. You're not going to do it slower because it's that.
Or when you're approximating when x equals 8.
Linear just means straight line.
Don't give a shit.
No, I saw it. I mean, it's like a.
I don't know, it's one half to the negative
Well, this one's just asking weird. If you compare these two, the function square root of 8. So if you're trying to approximate the square root of 8, they really want you to approximate what x equals 3. It's a really weird way to ask it. And they do the same thing up here. They function natural log of x, and they want you to approximate natural log of x. They really want you to approximate.
I got negative 1.
I've never seen that on this.
We're on the same problem. Oh, I think that's a subtract.
When you compare these two, you are approximating when x equals.
Okay, 5.
What? Oh, we didn't know how to do this when we had to look it up, and they said we just need to and
Okay, we'll do that.
well, I was gonna
So square root of x is your function. They want you to approximate square root of 8. So you see how they just plug in the means for x? That's why they're approximating x.
Why is it 5?
So like, here's
Oh,
the
that's
function
really
natural log
funny.
of x. They want you to approximate natural log of 125. So they really want you to estimate when x
Like your shit.
I don't know.
It's a really weird way to ask.
how are these supposed to
Probably
It's a funny trick.
So it's just what I told you one for
All of these have worked out.
Oh, no, 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 no.
I was gonna
None of
say.
the arithmetic should be. Or two missing.
Oh, yeah.
No, I hate that.
I forgot to pick this up when I realized that this was something I needed from the dentist.
Something
And
about.
I turned something over to the Why would we? Well, because that's,
When did you miss?
the day you handed this out.
Okay, well, when you find out.
Yeah, you have to plug in the full points to find the slope. Remember, it just means slope, right? So you gotta plug in the x and the y to find that slope. Whereas sometimes you only have to plug in the x. Yeah, so the slope would be 3/4. You guys know where I was going. You guys know where I was going with the stuff. I was gonna-
Like on Monday, you're being late.
Okay, it was Wednesday.
Wednesday of last week,
Yes, sir.
and now it's Wednesday of this week.
I believe so.
How much time do you think you get to make up stuff when you're gone?
I can get it to you tomorrow in advisory.
It looks like your absence is unexcused.
On Wednesday?
Yes.
Oh crap, okay. I gotta get that parent excuse. So I was parentally advised to not go to school.
You better get on it. I don't think they're supposed to change them after 48 hours, so.
Oh. Do you know this? So we got a deal? We got a deal?
No, there's no deal. You need to worry about today's stuff. Stop worrying about stuff that's come and gone.
Oh, well, I am worried about, I'm on number 3.
Okay.
How's my progress? Is number 3 ready?
It depends on when you started.
Huh?
It depends on when you started.
Like half an hour ago?
Then that's not the best.
Okay. I'm kind of learning as I go because I kind of forgot all this.
That's the point. If everybody was great at all this, we wouldn't be doing it.
When is this due?
I mean, you should finish it in class today.
When is it due?
That's the same thing.
See, in my rule book, the due date is the due date.
Due date, y'all think the turn-in date is due date. That's not what due date is.
What's the turn-in date?
Turn-in date would probably be the class after next.
Okay.
Because this is all class time again, so it should be.
So this Friday, I'm gonna be gone. I leave on the 30th, so Tuesday, next Tuesday, and I get back on. Wait, just kidding. I get back on this side. So I'm missing the Wednesday and the Friday. So what will I need to do? No. I'm gonna be literally world behind.
Well, art stuff, if you have internet access, you can do art stuff while you're gone. I don't know what you're doing.
I'm gonna do a material competition in Orlando.
Why are you doing it if you don't want to?
My mom's making me go. My sister's competition, so I can win.
Oh, well, there's a reason.
But I was looking for the answer of like, oh, you can just like not do something, you know? Because I'm. I should know by now.
I don't make you do anything. All of this is for y'all.
But we're legally required to be here.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Thompson, I don't even think U of A is gonna take this credit. No, I don't think they will. If it's in my major, they don't like to take credits. They're cheap.
There's rules about that. Like, some schools try not to, but I think.
I got this right, but I have a hard time.
But if it's in my major, like, gonna. Cause like, all the people at my work transfer their credits and this, like, they try so hard, like, they make it so hard to transfer them.
Okay, transfer or AP credit? That's two
Well, no,
different
they,
things.
no, but you have like, there's like a process where, I don't know what it is, but AP credits, they make it like hard to like, get that to their, no, I don't go, make my mom go in there, I'm just gonna be, hell no,
I would say
that's
thank
not
you
going on.
for giving me a smiley face on a full credit assignment on my mini quiz.
Okay,
It's the first time it's ever happened.
all right. I always put a clear on the point, please. On the when I say transfer, I bet they're referring to like, they went to Kansas for a while, and then they transfer. And then it's like the course names and course codes are not the same, so Arkansas doesn't want to take a bigger thing. Basically, if you do University of Kansas, it's an Arkansas component, so it's going to be transfer. It's like if you do introduction to cultural anthropology. You could literally go on a review day, you tell you 20 people on review day.
I'm sure you're gonna check it out.
I mean, I think you've done But at the same time, I could just say, oh, have a dog. Because they don't mess with them.
I haven't gone to bio in 3 months. I went the first time Monday. This is good enough.
I care about my grades. You know I care about my grades. I can know
I don't care about my grades.
X is one.
How many grades do you want to do for your How many grades?
X one is one. And what is this one?
I don't either. I just kind of winged it.
Wait, so right now you're I have no idea. You have to tell me
I try to like
what day it was signed, when we stopped working on it,
I try
and I
to
have to
connect it
turn
on
it in. Is it Euro?
One question for me. I was like,
I just scribble it out when I turn it.
no, he's just writing his workout. Well, I wrote like half an hour. No.
Yeah, he told me.
Of the rest of it.
I want to go back
Just get it's yellow now.
It's concave up, it's gonna look like this. Concave up is gonna look like this, right? So your tangent
Mine's
line,
kind of like
this would be your estimate, and this is where it really is, it's an underestimate.
No.
It's under where it's and it's concave down, your estimate is above the river. So all you need to know is concave.
No, you know
Yeah, and it's broad color.
I could be.
Good, advisory activity on Friday.
Friday.
Should we close the minutes? I'll probably get
Super sick.
Okay, I'll double check that. Put that on the email.
Oh, he's back.
No, I'm not.
Good.
Wait, no, I literally on my trip and said, what is happening?
Why'd you scare me like that, Mr. Trump?
So what's gonna happen to you if you don't do your work?
Something like that.
Oh, we're gonna apply. Oh. You want it? Good job. It's a, no, they're on the first one.
Is that right? You're excited for me. No.
One to set up your change in line equation, and then another one to approximate that. Y'all got any questions on
No, but I was curious of.
Okay.
It's really difficult, I know.
Use change in line to approximate that. Okay, so write your change in line equation. Y minus the Y value. No, that's not the Y value, that's the.
Okay, wait, everyone.
What's 8 to the
Yeah,
negative?
they already gave you the slope, so you don't even have to do the derivative or anything.
That's stepping it up.
What's, to yourself.
Okay, so now I change that minus to negative to plus.
What is the?
Okay, that's fine. So there's your tangent line equation, and now they want you to use it to approximate negative 4.8. So plug that in for x and solve for y. That's all of these. You write the tangent line equation, and then wherever they want you to approximate, you plug that value in for x and solve for y.
Okay.
Well, no,
Okay.
now, see, now it's in the
And you can get one of the answers.
I said that, two could be like shaped like that.
Okay, I don't see anything wrong there. Hold on, I was looking for mine.
This is slow. Oh, this is big. So where's the next one? Two. So where's this? Oh, X is two. Okay, X1 is.
I got 0. This is just not right.
It's led me astray.
I don't see anything wrong with yours.
Okay, then
But I
what'd you
just
get
did
for
it a
5?
different way. Well, see, look, you took it from one slope, and you solved it for slope intercept. And that's not wrong. It's not bad to do, but it's extra work, so I don't know why. Still can plug in the x value back here in point slope. And that's where you can do that you can do in your head, and then add 3 over. So I don't see what's wrong with yours, but there must be something.
Question.
She's right, same value. It might have been just 1/2. I feel like that's right, because this would be negative 5 over 2, this is negative 2.5. And when you add 3, you should be 1/2. So that sounds okay. Here's still something.
So LE1 is
I'm literally talking about, you know how I said I literally don't have it. Yes, there is no, here's a monotone in my voice, like, do you know what sound it is? My yelling. And then she gets me back up on her Thursday.
So we have a mini quiz over this side.
No, I get it made up, so a week before graduation. Too close to
Did you say how many questions?
You're right,
You got some 10 questions. Let's let them open.
Still thinking. Well, that sounds it. Oh, littlerization. It's right here in your first page one. This is y minus the y value, 3, and this is supposed to be x minus the x value.
Oh, it's signed as
Minus the negative 5, so that should be a plus 5. That's the only thing.
Honestly, a lot of times when I'm looking at stuff like that, I can't see the mistake, and what I have to do is just start over from scratch somewhere else because I can't. I just look at it and I keep making the same mistake in my head. So.
This negative 2, so the derivative of xy is product of the truth from the negative both parts of it. If it makes you feel better, I don't see it. Is one okay?
So what?
Yeah, it's a first later question. They'll bring it up later. You're right, it doesn't matter to do that question.
Yeah.
No.
You heard of it? Oh. Oh, it's in the, it's in the 1.5 seconds.
No, this is the direct. That's supposed to be like pulled out. No, to write a division line equation, you need point, x and y, put that in there, and you need a slope, and the slope becomes right. So you have it right already.
I thought you'd like subtract 7 by 1.
It should be right there. So by well, that would be a separation of variables. With y on one side and the x.
I've never like that, but like I don't. Because you have like little work pocket for when I leave to study for the AP.
A little work packet.
I'm needing a 5 page. But I need something because I don't remember.
X1 over 2.
Well, everything we're gonna be doing, I'm gonna turn it off.
Oh, 1.5 seconds.
Are we gonna go over that? The first and very course.
So 0.07.
You do the x's on one side, the y's on the other, you integrate both sides, you don't forget plus c, you maybe solve for c, and then you solve for y.
I remember that.
Yeah, we practiced it to death.
Yes, I hated that. What?
Yes.
Wait, what?
Yes.
You definitely can hold on. But it's like, it's under control.
And that is on the front.
Square root and a square itself.
Oh.
The square is 64, so square root is
Oh my gosh, I thought.
Checking the time. It's part of my job. I manage time.
Two steps back.
What?
4.
That's the third
So,
one.
112.
I don't want you to phone.
You want everything from me.
I want you to do your work. That's the only thing I'm gonna ask.
Oh, what the world is that?
That is.
I don't know, you have to take off the way you color, so.
Did I?
Did you?
Mr. Townsend, are you able to check if I have one checked out?
I don't know. I will try.
Mr. Townsend, I've discovered something I need to study. because I don't remember at all how to do x and y in derivatives, like y primes and everything. I think I have most of it, but
Okay, so right, that looks good. That looks good. You remembered the y prime, but right here you got to do product rule. This is x times y.
oh, that's right.
So you need to do -2 parentheses and then do the derivative of x with y left alone plus the derivative of y with x left alone.
Okay, that makes sense. I forgot about that.
We just practiced product rule last class.
No. Full of dumb.
It's like bacon swing.
I only like
It cleans up the system. This?
Killers.
I can't really find what went wrong, because I think it should be 7 for 11 minutes.
I saw you like, I don't know, somehow I saw the, yeah, like a comment, like really cute. And I saw it.
So this is -2 times x, y.
I like
Take the
see it.
derivative of x, y, you're gonna have to do product.
Well, that's what I did, but I should have put
Well, what's the derivative of x? Okay, so y left alone, okay, that's fine.
But the
And then
other
you
two,
distribute the two. Okay, so here, you left x alone, and you get the derivative of y. Well, you have to remember, when you take the derivative of y with respect to x, you need y prime here.
I was like,
You need a y prime here. Right here, you took the derivative of y, so you need a y prime. Y prime is the slope. So when you plug in 1, 1 into all of this mess, this is equal to 0. When you plug 1, 1 into all that mess, you solve for y prime and that tells you 0.
So it all
It could. I don't know if it does.
Wait, so what's it look like so much?
You guys good? You know what the mini quiz is next class? It's the front and back matching of one page of 131. So you should make sure that you know what page number so you don't study the wrong stuff. Or you at least study the parts that you'll be quizzed over. I have it typed up there, but I know it's hard to read, but you need to make sure you know what that's going to be.
Positive or just negative positive, well, that means, like, if you're here, just being here with a negative.
Okay, that's not right.
At 49, it's happy.
You start having a book. Oh, you thought you had to.
Yeah, and,
Then he's like, oh, check again. Then I open up the real life. Things are
oh, you have that.
transferred. We did all at once.
Like, if this is -5.
Similar to con section at a point.
Because actually, this is the line that
I think
you're
it's a bit.
getting. So it would be the lowest.
Check for that bar. Are you an avid bar?
Yes, no.
Grace. Wait, is that yours? I remember that. Grace, you know what Trent just told me? He's an avid bar goer.
Huh?
He's an avid bar goer. And then never I need him.
And then, yeah, this would be -5.
It's just that transfer. think she's
and
really
negative
confused.
4.8, but if you're guessing
Do you understand?
it'll be over here. That's on
Oh, I'm about
the
to.
equation right here.
Yeah, that failed.
So then concave up.
Yeah, it's so much work. I don't even know how to.
Oh, I don't
Yeah, I have to read.
Physics.
I always have.
Physics. That was administrative.
Yeah, what is it? Yeah.
I was telling Trent that I need to have like a Google in case you steal it. And try to pickpocket it.
Christian, you have your Chromebook checked out to you, and you have a book called Killers of the Flower Men.
Like actually.
Oh, that's still in my backpack. The Chromebook, yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I'm just telling you, those are the two things it says you have checked out.
Okay, cool. Yes, I want that.
Oh.
Okay, does anybody need help for me to come over? Okay. Let me know when you find something, please. Y'all still have 20 minutes, so that should be enough time to finish up the circuit and make sure you know what you need to study for your mini quiz. Even better if you start.
So, is it 1 over something?
Yeah, that was kind of suspicious.
1 over 2 squared, cube roots of. Oh, is this all squares?
Oh my gosh, this must not be true. Thank God. You're literally invisible. I feel good. You guys, I'm Bye. Hey, why don't you just take it?
Probably where I did those.
Yeah, I know.
16.
What'd you say?
X's. X is 11.
If you wrote, you say over.
Yeah, why is it above the
I didn't see you got it.
No, I got it. I finished this one. Now I'm
Oh, bro, it's the same exact thing. But they just give us more. It's like 7 Yeah, no, they just give us more information. We just plug it in.
Oh, because this is 1 over this, so this is 1/4 actually. 1/4.
You're done? How do you know that it's not under a practice? Yeah, I know, but how do you actually know? Because the concavity's up on number 6. Oh, so the tangent line might be like.
It's gonna be underneath it. The curve is usually ours.
Oh my god. Okay, so I looked at, when I skipped that, like that's so no longer than we state. Like I think it's 0 each time. I can't have it.
No,
Should I just do this?
yes. What's our illustration?
Geometry.
What grade's your brother in?
12. We're twins.
Oh, you're twins? Oh, I thought you looked a little bit younger.
Me?
No, him.
Oh.
What math does he take?
Nothing this year. He stopped at pre-cal. And just to match our schedules, like he was trying to do AP Spanish. So he did that. I was like, oh, I need something to fill the schedules. So like, hey, I might as well take calculus. And since I'm doing engineering, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not doing engineering though?
No, he's doing pre-med.
Oh, okay. That might mean calculus, I don't know.
I think so. He regrets it for sure.
Yeah, taking a year off of math is hard.
Yeah.
Hope he didn't regret it.
He does now. I mean, he's more like naturally intelligent than me, so he'll be able to figure it out, I think. Like derivatives and stuff.
Colleges is harder though.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There's a lot less structure in college.
Yeah. I think he'll be okay though.
Are y'all going to the same school?
No, he's going to Baylor. I'm going to Texas A&M.
Okay.
So, well, it's close to each other. But yeah.
Did y'all want to go to the same school, or did y'all want to not go to the same school?
Well,
or you didn't care?
We just wanted to go like where like the best opportunity was for a major. Like
that's
like,
smart.
Like it was more like looked up like best medical schools. Whatever applied to whatever they were, a few safety schools, and just
yeah. I mean that's what y'all should do.
Yeah.
That y'all don't normally do. That's why I don't assume that y'all do that. But
no, we didn't determine it on like where we were or whatever. We just like well, what's the best opportunity for each of us.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait for it.
College is fun, but you just have to stay on top of your stuff.
Yeah.
Go to class every day.
I will. I'll go to class. Yeah. No.
Wait, is this X or is this X? Oh.
Since I finished my circuit, can I go get my cabinet down in the cafeteria while it's still lunch?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
You know what to study for the mini quiz?
I'll do that later.
Okay, as long as you know which page to study.
Are you leaving?
Yeah. I think I'll get my pen. Oh, it's still Bruh, it just came out. My Wi-Fi was on. I know it. Then why did you get all your Wi-Fi? Yeah, right. You told me you were going to like. What's the matter with yeah. I didn't ever know that.
You thought you were gonna work? Oh, I see.
Hey, have you seen this?
I haven't been there. Ring a bell?
So slow.
All right, guys, we're down to about 5 minutes here. So the 3 biggest reminders, the most important things. If you did not do the Delta Math for homework Monday night like I had suggested, you need to make sure you do that before next Monday, because after that, the only way for you to get the points is through corrections, which is 3 times the work. If you have any missing work or partial credit assignments, the late credit for that unit will be Monday, since that's when the test is due. So if that applies to you, make sure you know that. And make sure you know what to study for the mini quiz. If you're not sure what you need to study for the mini quiz, you should check with me before you leave. It's fine if you study extra, but you should at least study the stuff that you're going to get quizzed over.